The paddock was buzzing, whispers everywhere. Then, the drop of a bombshell. Verstappen makes huge future decision in insane statement. The four-time champion has spoken, and we're unpacking every inch of that seismic move. It begins with a simple truth. Max Verstappen appears set to remain with Red Bull for the F1 2026 season. But there's more beneath the surface. After a wobbly 2024 and 2025, and McLaren's resurgence, the confidence in Milton Keynes wavered, and many questioned if the Dutch prodigy might bolt. Yet, here we are. His future with Red Bull looks secure. For now. Why for now? Because behind his calm exterior lies a calculated poker game. He's still under contract through 2028, yes, but with an exit clause that could shift everything. If Verstappen finishes fourth or lower in the Drivers' Championship after the Hungarian Grand Prix, that clause activates. Currently, he sits third, 28 points clear of George Russell, Mercedes' top contender. And if the clause triggers, he could walk away if he wants, albeit likely involving a settlement or agreement. However, it's over for now. As the deadline for it is the summer break, which happens after the race this weekend, and Russell is unable to catch up to Verstappen anymore before that time. But let's rewind. Verstappen, ever measured, stood before the media and said, "In general, I'm very happy where I'm at. I hope to." And that was still the target that was set out when we signed a new deal. Drive here until the end of my career. That feels like the calm before a storm of drama, as if he's lighting a path, but not yet showing whether he'll follow it. Here's where it gets juicy. His old boss, Christian Horner, was suddenly dismissed mid-season. No official reason from Red Bull GmbH. Verstappen didn't push publicly for it, and yet he spoke of excitement about a new era under Laurent Mekies, Horner's successor. It's a pivot, a hinge moment in the storylines of power and loyalty. Mekies was asked flat out if locking Verstappen in was his priority. His answer? In terms of priority, I'm sure what Max wants is a fast car. If we get him a fast car, it cancels out all the other considerations. It's a chillingly sharp message. Deliver the performance, and all else becomes moot. Meanwhile, Toto Wolff at Mercedes is watching. George Russell remains without a contract. Wolff said, "The intention was always pre-summer break. Is that going to be the case? I don't know. There is still no contract on the table." He insists fine detail negotiations are causing delay. Marketing control, personal image rights, sponsorship time, they're all on the table. But the rumor mill points to something bigger. If Verstappen leaves Red Bull, could Mercedes throw open the door? Then there's the top plot twist. Verstappen's exit clause, once so feared, is now expired. He finished in the top 3, 28 points ahead of Russell after Belgium, with 25 points left to grab in Hungary. That means no clause, no escape hatch, at least not for 2026. He's locked in more tightly than ever. On the technical frontier, 2026 looks like a battlefield. New engine rules mandate 50% electrification, sustainable fuel, active aero, a seismic shift for manufacturers. Red Bull's engine project, Horner admitted before being booted, is by far the biggest challenge we've taken on in Formula One since entering in 2005. Yet Horner also emphasized, "We're making very good headway and pleased with progress." They're racing against engineers at Mercedes, Honda, Audi, Ferrari to master this power unit upheaval. There's speculation that the hybrid engine power split, currently 55 to 45 ICE to electric, might shift towards 70 to 30 or even 80 to 30-20 to reduce performance gaps and ensure competition. Horner said homologation might be scrapped to allow upgrades under the budget cap if Red Bull wants to avoid another 2014-style runaway, one dominant engine like Mercedes's. We all want close-quarter racing, not a repeat of what we had in 2014. Tie it all together. Verstappen's decision to stay isn't just loyalty, It's a strategy. He stays with a team that promises #1 status, clear development focus, and a car tailored around him. But he's banking on Red Bull delivering. If Keynes nails Horner's old role, if they get that fast car, then Verstappen stays content. If not, the clause may be gone, but other doors may open. It sets up a tantalizing subplot. Should Mercedes keep Russell, it likely means no Verstappen. Or they could sign Russell to a short deal to remain flexible, waiting to pounce if Red Bull falters. Because at this point, no one doubts that if the door opens, Verstappen could slip through with the right offer. But the key phrase again echoes, drive here until the end of my career. Can Red Bull threaten that vision? Can Keynes deliver the stability Horner represented, just under new leadership? Can they prove their power unit matches up to rivals in the electrified era? As we head into the Hungarian GP, these questions hang heavy. Will any flicker of instability spark fresh headlines? And if Germany emerges as a dark horse for the title, or Mercedes pull ahead with a killer 2026 car, how fast might loyalties shift? This is one big story, a champion's loyalty, a team under upheaval, a revolution in engine rules, a decision that seems made, but could yet unmake itself. And it all hinges on performance. All it takes is one misstep to crack the foundation. Because while Max Verstappen says he wants to stay until the end of his career, Formula One doesn't care much for long-term promises. It cares about speed, power, control. And when 2026 rolls around, it won't just be a new car, it'll be a new world. Verstappen knows that. He's no fool. His long contract with Red Bull, until 2028, was always a signal of commitment, but never a guarantee. This is F1. You don't sign a contract, you sign leverage. That's why the now defunct performance clause mattered so much. If Max had slipped to 4th in the standings before the summer break, the entire grid would have started whispering louder. Mercedes, Aston, even Audi. But Hungary closed that door. Mathematically, Verstappen can't fall out of the top 3 now. The clause is gone. Yet here's the twist. It doesn't feel like he wants out. Not anymore. Despite all the noise earlier this season, his cryptic interviews, the Red Bull power struggles, Horner's departure, he stood in front of the press and didn't flinch. "I'm very happy where I'm at," he said. "That was still the target when we signed the deal, to drive here until the end of my career." So, is this all done? No more drama? No more speculation? Not quite. Because while Red Bull have retained Max, the landscape around him is shifting like desert sand. Horner's exit might not have sent Verstappen packing, but it rattled the foundations. The man who built the team around him is gone. Laurent Mekies, Horner's successor, is racing against time to prove he can carry the empire forward. And the real challenge isn't just keeping Verstappen happy, it's making sure the 2026 Red Bull car is fast enough to keep him loyal. That's the true currency now. Mekies said it best. If we get him a fast car, it cancels out all the other considerations. But Red Bull isn't alone in the lab. Mercedes is cooking. Rumors suggest their 2026 engine could dominate the field, just like it did in 2014, when the V6 era began and Mercedes ran away with 8 titles. F1 is shifting to 50% electric power, sustainable fuel, and active aero. It's a new formula, and Red Bull's dominance could evaporate overnight if they misjudge it. So Verstappen's decision, even without the clause, isn't made in stone. If Red Bull falters in 2026 and Mercedes hits the jackpot, doors can still open. Maybe not through a contract clause, but through mutual interest, or a sudden change in strategy from both sides. And let's not forget the whispers inside Mercedes. George Russell, still unsigned. Toto Wolff said, "There is still no contract on the table." Sure, he might stay, but if Verstappen calls, you think Toto won't pick up? The move might not happen now, but the pieces are already on the board. Russell and Antonelli could be offered 1-year deals, keeping that second seat warm. just in case Max decides to jump in 2027 or 2028. That's the long play. Will Red Bull's gamble on their own power unit deliver glory or regret? Can Laurent Mekies carry the legacy of Horner and keep Verstappen loyal with sheer performance? Will Mercedes make one final irresistible offer? And the question we'll leave you with, one that no contract can answer: has Verstappen truly made his final move, or is he just waiting for the right time to strike again? Let us know what you think in the comments.